try to make this quick, but I had a dream last night that I don't know what was going on. I guess something about like I was going to fly to Abu Dhabi, and I knew I'd never been there before, and so I was like really excited about that. And for some reason, I was thinking about, I don't want to say I was thinking about, but I think like on the same flight, the fighters from like the USC, like Dana White, and his fighters were like flying to Abu Dhabi for like the Fight Island thing or whatever. And I was like really excited because I'd never been there. And when we got there, um, I just remember like the guy at the gate was like really rude, and I could tell he didn't like me like right away. But as soon as he like let me through the gate, it was like everything there, like there. It was like I noticed like the way people were traveling was like it was like on a rail. It was like a rail system kind of thing, but they weren't cars. They were like everything was on boats, and I was just amazed. Like what? Everybody, it was nothing but water and like many patches of sand or like island, and that's how everybody traveled over there. And I was just amazed. But it was like a super wealthy place, and there was like some poverty there too, like people that were poor, but they were just like homeless people or whatever. But the main like freeway or whatever it was, if you want to call it a freeway, like where all these like submarine type boats were like traveling from like island to island. Um, it was just water everywhere. And then I remember even like walking, there was like water like up to my ankles. And it was really beautiful or whatever. But it was like super tropical. But I just couldn't believe how much water was over there. But, anyways, like on the flight there, I remember I saw Donald Trump. And he was sitting at like, like one of these on the flights or these jets or whatever, they're like two people tables. Like they're like small, like it's like a half of a table. So it's like a rectangle instead of like a square table. It's like a rectangle, and there's just like a seat for like two people. And I don't know who he was sitting down talking to. I think it might have been Dana White, but I'm not sure. But I remember at this part of the dream, I was just looking at him, and he was just like, actually, I don't think it was Dana White. I think it was like whoever put this guy in power, because I remember he said, "Yeah, I'll be elected thrice." And I was like, "You mean twice?" And he kind of looked at me and smiled. He said, "Thrice. Thrice. I'll be elected thrice." And I'm just like, "What?" And I couldn't like understand what he was saying. I thought he was like he was trying to be funny, I guess. And he's like, "But the powers that be, the powers that put me in power, the people that put me in power, I'll be elected. I'll be elected thrice." And so I was thinking, like, okay, like I guess he'll be elected uh twice or three times. And he was like three times. So he confirmed it would be three times that he would be in office. So I'm thinking another 8 years he'll be in office. And he just had like this smirk on his face. But whatever it was, I just know like in the dream there was a connection between the United Arab Emirates, right? Because that's the UAE is where Abu Dhabi is at, and the powers that be over there. And then I knew for some reason like I couldn't be over there because I knew like my time was there was limited, and I knew like, oh, I had to go, I had to catch this flight back home. Like I knew that in the dream. Like when I was there visiting, it was cool, it was nice, but everything was underwater. And even though it was nice, it didn't really make sense. Like all these people had all this money over there, but the whole state of that country was like under water, like, and they people didn't even care. This was like just they were just used to that lifestyle, and even though the water everywhere would either be up to like your shoe or up to your ankle, but people were still just living their life, like going back and forth, and just like business as usual, I guess. And I knew like I had to hurry up, like even though I was there visiting and it seemed nice, I knew I didn't want to stay, and I knew like I had to pack my bags and get back home. I had to fly back to like America or whatever, and I just remember Trump. And then I remember when I got back home to America, I seen my dad. Like I was looking at pictures of my father and pictures of my son because I had a son. I believe he's my son. There was some issue with the baby mother to where I couldn't get the blood test, and she moved out of state. And but she said he was mine. He looked like mine, and I tried to. She gave custody to her aunt because she had gotten some troubles and got locked up, and so she gave custody of our son, I guess, to her aunt. But I was there when the baby was born, and the hospital wouldn't give us the blood test at the hospital, so I didn't want to sign the birth certificate unless I knew 100% sure. Yeah, but that was a missed opportunity because I should have signed the birth certificate because then I would have been able to have custody. But I didn't know if he was my son. I was just this girl, at the time, like after my divorce or whatever, I met this girl, and it's a mess. I don't have a perfect life by any means, but I am a Christian now, and I take it seriously. But anyways, in the dream, I was looking at pictures of my dad and my son, and I was like, that's interesting because you know, if I get raptured, I will be reunited with my father because he became a Christian before he died. And if Jesus raptures all the babies, I'll be with my son. So I will be reunited with my son and my dad, which would be cool, which would be awesome. But yeah, so I just figured I'd upload this dream about Trump and Thrice because that's pretty much what I got from the dream. And hurry up and trying to get my stuff together because my flight's about to leave